Now we'll talk about the final layer of sophistication that you'll gather as a historian as you progress through your history degree. Year 3 is a year in which you specialise. The focus is increasing. You're a well-honed, practiced history student. You belong now to the university community that you've entered 3 years ago. You've gained confidence, you've gained skills, and drawing on my previous comments, you've really begun to participate in and critique the community of scholars that you're involved in. Year 3 is exciting, but it's also demanding. Assessment racks up another level. You have to focus on exams, revision, but it also can be the most enjoyable year. It's when you're most confident. You don't really need to worry about belonging anymore. It's about defining your input and your personality within the university context. So year 3, you'll tend to do something like a special subject or a protracted, in-depth historical investigation of a controversy, a text, or a theme that you're interested in. Of course, you'll get guidance. Of course, you'll have a supervisor who guides you on every step of a dissertation or research process. But more often than not, you'll be allowed to shape your research project, give it a title, and map the way that you research and construct historical arguments. So it's kind of over to you in level 3. We've given you the training. We've given you the options of different periods and approaches. It's now about you choosing that you have a particular interest, for example, in race, in gender, in the history of military strategy, in the history of political international relations. That's up to you. You've become an independent scholar, something that we've been talking about in previous podcasts. And at the close of your 3rd year, you'll have produced what we term original research. That doesn't necessarily mean uncovering archives, artifacts, finding new texts or new evidence, but it does mean having a particular take on a period or topic. You may have written a 10, 12, 15,000 word piece, and at their best, and in my experience this happens 2, 3, 4, perhaps 5 times a year with students, those pieces of work will be of top quality research standard and even be publishable in historical journals or books. So that's the kind of thing you need to aspire to at level 3 history. You've become a scholar now, not a pupil. You've developed from a student to a researcher. You've moved from being taught to being tutored and guided in your research that now you are taking into your own hands. So I've given you a step-by-step guide to your development, your increasing refinement, if you like, as a historian at university. Worryingly, though, in some ways, I've just concentrated on this pristine academic development, arguing that in some sense, at every level, you're being refined, nurtured, guided through the academic landscape. Obviously, university is more than this. I'd just like to end by talking about the kind of history-related opportunities, what we call the co-curricular opportunities that you can be involved in during your time at university. Now, it's crucial to develop academically and to gain this intellectual flexibility and dexterity that I've been talking about in previous podcasts, but it's also interesting and useful to adapt your history skills and your history knowledge, and to try that knowledge out in different contexts. I'm just going to go through, with the help of a diagram, a few things that you can do during your history degree that will, in a sense, liberate you from academic study for a while, provide a balance to your academic refinement, but also act in a nice feedback loop and help your academic progression too. So as a skilled historian, these are the things that you might do at each level. Level 1, remember it's all about joining the community. How about joining a history society or a debating society which allows you to take your historical knowledge, adapt it, and argue with people from other disciplines, say from politics, philosophy, English even. It's there you really test out how you can articulate your specialised historical knowledge in relation to an audience that might not know the nitty-gritty of your historical study. You can become involved with student campaigns, charities, and, in a sense, broadcast your opinions through such catalysts as student radio, student TV, and campaigns in favour of your local charities, local community groups, for example. It's in my experience that history students are particularly good at doing this because they are used to adapting their knowledge to different audiences. As you settle in, and this might be level 2, might be level 3, you can start thinking about applying your history skills beyond the horizon of the university. Take your experience outside the community that you've settled into. Either that might be the university town, the city, or a wider context in which you can deploy your history skills. You might spend a 3-week placement, for example, at a local museum or archive, helping the public with their inquiries, adapting historical knowledge to school children's benefits. You might write for a university magazine or go beyond that and start working in local journalism. Again, these are the things that historians develop as they progress through a degree. Refined writing skills, clarity of communication, persuasiveness of argument. Why not try out these in different contexts where you have a wider and less specialised audience? And what I would say is you develop these experiences, these competencies. At level 3, you'll be in a position to look beyond the relatively narrow organisation that you've been in for 3 years. Get in touch with history alumni, those history students who the university still have contact with, who've gone and progressed into jobs, say, in law, in the media, in politics, in charity. These are the guiders now who can take the place of your academic tutors and lecturers. They'll be stepping into the world or ensconced in the world that you're looking forward to going to. So get their advice, team up with these alumni, the connections will become apparent. You might find the chance to contribute, for example, to a public debate or an exhibition, and that is really reaching out beyond the university community, stepping beyond this horizon, which can be quite narrow and restricting, to reach a new audience, to meet the demands of the public, of society, of the community. There's a lot that's said at the moment about the need for academics to make an impact, to delve deeper into society and to draw the relevance of their subject to a wider community. So on a small level, by chairing a debate, by adapting your historical knowledge to a different audience at the level of school children, you'll be contributing to the impact that your university is making in that community. The last thing and most practical thing I would advise at level 3 is really start being pragmatic about careers. There are certain careers that you can step into as a historian more easily than others. Start using your career advisors, start using your alumni as catalysts, as mediators between the university world on the one hand and the world of work and professional development on the other. And if you'd like to find out more about this precise link between history and employability, then you can turn precisely to the next podcast in the series, which is about the skills that historians have that are adaptable and transferable to the world of work. Thanks very much.